Nato is that one kid who basically said, screw teenage life. I'm gonna dedicate myself to raising my little sister like a single mom with trust issues. Then boom, flashback. A 10-year-old Nato's running through a damn sunflower field like he's in a goddamn perfume commercial. Locks eyes with some blonde girl, they smile. Fast forward to the present, high school, and some background NPCs ask Nato why the hell he doesn't join any clubs. He drops the "I have to take care of my little sister" line, which they immediately assume is just code for "I'm an antisocial weirdo," or worse, "I'm in love with my sister," which, Jesus Christ, can we not go down that alley, guys? Nato hears them, but thank God he's got the emotional resilience of a rock, just doesn't give a fuck. He meets up with his boy Toku, who's like, yo, I got a club. Super chill, no real rules, just hang out and talk. Sounds like a stoner cult, but whatever. Nato likes the idea, but still says, nah, gotta babysit and maybe get a job because life's a bitch. Toku gets it, he's stuck taking care of his grandpa, so they bond over mutual suffering. Enter our first certified waifu, Ishihara. She walks up all sunshine and smiles and asks if Nato's coming to the committee meeting. He hits her with that "nah, got plans with my sister" line again like it's his damn catchphrase, but instead of judging him, Ishihara's like, cool, I'll drop off the notes at your place. Like, girl, please, just marry him already and save us the drama. Anyway, Nato goes home and does full-on domestic chores like he's auditioning for a tragic soap opera. Then, out of nowhere, bam, Tamayo shows up again. This time with her cat and a look on her face like she just sniffed a turd made of his DNA. She tells Nato he's turning into his father, which sounds like an insult, then throws him his allowance in a damn envelope like she's running a mafia. But wait, surprise, there's extra cash in there. She says it's cause Suzushiro's birthday was last month and tells him to buy her something nice. Then she laughs, that weird anime villain laugh, and walks off. Oh yeah, did I mention Tamayo owns the house, never leaves her room, and we have no idea how she makes money? Yeah, she's a walking IRS red flag. Next morning, Suzushiro, that's the little sister by the way, asks Nato to do her hair. And he's like, girl, you need to start doing things on your own. I ain't gonna be your maid forever. But she looks up with those puppy eyes like, you'll take care of me till I'm an old hag, right? And damn it if it doesn't hit you in the feels a little. Then you remember, both their parents are dead, died 2 years ago, and these poor kids have been bouncing around like luggage between relatives till they finally crash landed at Tamayo's haunted house of dysfunction. On the way to school, Nato asks his sister what she wants for her birthday. They agree to check some stuff out later, but Nato gets this weird vibe, like someone's following them. So he tells Suzushiro to head straight home after school. Back in school, Nato's busy simping for Ishihara, melting like butter every time she shows up. But he knows she's way out of his league. Toku drops the tea. Some fashion scout tried to recruit her once, and she basically told him to eat shit because they weren't good enough for her. Queen behavior. And speaking of queens, news breaks that a new girl just transferred in, Satsuki Tachibana. Naoto hears that name and instantly goes pale, like he just shit himself in public. After school, he's walking home trying to mind his damn business, but the new girl is following him like a horror movie ghost, calling his name over and over like she's got early onset stalker syndrome. He tries to ignore her like you ignore a Jehovah's Witness at your door, but eventually he snaps and hits her with a classic, "What the fuck do you want, dumbass?" And guess what? Satsuki, because of course it's her, just casually drops the bomb, "I remember you from 6 years ago. Sunflowers. Ring a bell?" Oh, it rings. It fucking rings like PTSD. Naoto ain't buying any of it. "You destroyed my parents' room, bitch. You think I'm gonna forgive that?" She says sorry, wants to talk. He basically says, "Not now, maybe later, when I give a shit." She whines, "You weren't this much of a dick back then." And he's like, "Yeah, well you ghosted me like my dad goes to child support, so cry me a river." She hugs him, says she won't let go until he listens. He says fine, but then pulls the old Sonic the Hedgehog move and bolts the hell out while she's still mid-hug. Meanwhile, Suzushiro, the little sister, is walking home too. She passes by this family working on a garden and gets hit with nostalgic whiplash from back when her family had one too, before life went full Mexican telenovela. Then, out of nowhere, Naoto grabs Suzushiro by the neck and sprints home like they're escaping a damn fire drill. Why? Because crazy McPsycho Satsuki is right behind them. Back home, Suzashiro asks the million-dollar question, who the hell was that? Naoto, still breathing like he ran a marathon with asthma, tells her to focus. She changes the subject and says, I know what I want for my birthday, a garden. Cute, right? But Naoto hits her with reality. We don't have land, kid. And she, in all her bratty glory, replies, then buy some. Then Tamayo, aka queen bitch of the house, chimes in, just use the backyard, though it's fucked beyond belief. And boy, she wasn't lying. The place looks like a junkyard made love to a landfill. But hey, nothing a few mental breakdowns and a shovel can't fix. Then, as if life wasn't chaotic enough, Satsuki shows up. With a hoe, Naoto instantly goes into full big brother defense mode, standing between her and Suzashiro like she's packing a bazooka. I don't know what you want, but piss off. And what does she do? Oh, she just lunges in and plants the most aggressive anime kiss in the history of puberty right on Naoto's lips. No warning, no lead up, just full send, tongue included. And the best part? Suzashiro sees the whole damn thing. So does Tamayo, who's probably regretting every life decision that brought her to this moment. Naoto, despite secretly enjoying it, you know he did, says, you got 10 seconds to get off me, crazy. But it's too late. Her kiss hits like a tranquilizer dart made of lust and trauma. Guy passes the hell out and wakes up in his room like he got soul-sucked by a dementor. At least he looks well-rusted. Tamayo, never missing a beat, tells him, next time you use my backyard to get freaky with your classmates, I'm kicking your ass to the curb. Fair. Next day, Naoto walks Suzashiro to school and tries to explain what happened, but she's having none of it. She gives him the silent treatment and mentally disowns him like any good little sister would. Ishihara, the actual angel of the series, remembers what happened yesterday, saw the kiss go down, and just assumes Naoto got himself a girlfriend. Naoto shows up and apologizes for missing the committee meeting and says he'll miss today's too. Ishihara, being the sweetheart she is, says it's okay and that it's cute how much he cares about his sister. And just when things might calm down, boom, Satsuki shows up again. Doesn't say shit, doesn't even warm up, just grabs Ishihara's like she's picking melons at the grocery store. Why? To see what kind Naoto likes. Excuse me? What? Naoto grabs the resident lunatic and runs her to the rooftop for a private WTF is wrong with you conversation. He demands an explanation. She shrugs. Was he mad about the boob grab? The kiss? The destruction of his childhood crops? Satsuki pulls out the hoe, the same one she brought yesterday. Says she's been trying to return it for years. Flashback time. 6 years ago, Naoto met her in his family's garden. They were kids. Innocent, friendly, whatever. And then, one day, this lunatic storms in and absolutely nukes the garden with a hoe like it was a WWE match. Then she vanished. Now she's back, with the hoe, and apparently no better impulse control. Naoto stares at Satsuki and just straight up asks, why the hell did you do that? And she refuses to answer, but then she says she's sorry, like genuinely sorry. I can make it up to you, with my body. And instead of doing what literally every other MC in the genre would do, which is turn red and then smash cut to black, Naoto just gets scared. He keeps grilling her about the kiss, because now his little sister's mad and it's all become a soap opera with garden tools. Why'd you do it? He yells. She blinks like he just asked her why water is wet. You seriously don't get why a girl kisses a guy? Then she leaves, all disappointed like she expected this emotional moment and got rejected by a toaster. Now, Naoto feels like the villain. And you know what? Kinda fair. Even though the guy's done literally nothing for the past 10 minutes except breathe and get sexually assaulted, now he's stuck with the guilt. Later that day, our man's walking out of school and then it hits him. Ishihara didn't even look him in the eyes. Oof, that was his daily serotonin. Gone. All thanks to Satsuki and her surprise tit grab from hell. And the worst part? He didn't even do shit. Cut to Satsuki, who is now casually carrying Suzashiro like she's luggage. And Suzashiro's got a scraped knee. Naturally, Naoto sees red. You touch my sister again and I'm folding your face into origami. Dude's ready to throw hands. But then Suzushiro tells him to calm the hell down. She tripped. That's it. No street brawl, no torture, just clumsy legs. They walk back home and Satsuki goes, "I can help with the garden. I'm not a pro, but I've had one before. I know what I'm doing." Wait, hold up. You had a garden? Anyway, both siblings are confused but desperate enough to accept the help. Beggars can't be choosers, especially when your backyard looks like Chernobyl. Then, boom, Ishihara shows up. "Can we talk?" she says. Next day, they meet at the mall to shop for school committee stuff. And thank the gods of plot convenience, everyone else bailed. Just the two of them. Meanwhile, Suzushiro is working on the garden with Satsuki, depressed out of her damn mind. She wonders if her brother already forgot about her. Why? Because Naoto promised they'd work on the garden together, but instead, he's off with committee girl. So now, Satsuki, our honorary homewrecker, volunteers to help in his place. So romantic, right? I'll weed your garden so your brother can go flirt with another girl. Then, just when Naoto's about to confess to Ishihara that she's the one he actually likes, his mouth seizes up like his balls know he ain't built for this level of honesty. Fast forward, the girls show up at the store. Suzushiro sees them and immediately goes full Latina mom mode. "So this is your little committee trip? You lying bastard." Naoto, trying to defuse the bomb, pulls out a hoe. "I got this for you. It's your favorite color." Satsuki sees the scene from afar and walks away like she's in a slow-motion heartbreak montage. Meanwhile, Ishihara tells Naoto she's going home, then casually drops, "I love how you care for your sister." But oh shit, did she just say, "I love you"? She panics and dips before she turns into a tomato in front of everyone. Cut to later. Naoto and Suzushiro realize Satsuki is missing. They find her in the backyard. She asks Naoto how his date went with his committee girl. He tries to explain like, "It wasn't a date, the others just bailed. I didn't ask to be alone with her, it just happened." She tells him that next time he has to take her out instead. Classic reverse psychology move. Naoto suspects she's trying to bait him emotionally and vows not to fall for it. Spoiler, he's absolutely gonna fall for it. Then he notices the backyard actually looks decent now. The garden is coming along. And maybe, just maybe, Satsuki was serious about helping. Satsuki, covered in dirt, says she needs to change because she's filthy. And Naoto, being the emotionally stunted virgin he is, freaks out when she starts to undress right there. Tries to stop her, slips, and boom, he falls right on top of her like he's reenacting a hentai setup. And guess who walks in? Tamayo. The walk-in you done fucked up alarm. She glares at him and says, "That's it, you're dead. I told you, no funny business in my backyard." Satsuki starts apologizing like she just ran over a nun, and she offers to go talk to Tamayo to explain what the hell happened, but Naoto, being the king of just let it burn, tells her to forget it. He knows damn well it's only gonna make things worse. Man's already preparing his mental eulogy for having to move. Again. Then he tells Satsuki he's dipping, but since they're headed the same way, she tags along. That's her excuse anyway. Truth is, she's trying to dig into his soul with small talk. She asks if they're really moving again, and Naoto, channeling the spirit of every evicted renter ever, says, "Yeah, no shit, it was bound to happen eventually. He's just glad they lasted a little longer this time." He waits for his little sister to knock out and drops a truth bomb. Their parents' marriage was about as welcomed as a fart in an elevator. No family support, no love, just vibes. That's why it's just him and his sister now, riding the pity train all the way to Tamayo's couch. But Satsuki? She doesn't buy that Tamayo actually hates having him there. I mean, the lady literally offered them her damn garden. If that's not low-key tolerance, what is? Speaking of gardens, Satsuki gifts Naoto some seeds, actual ones, not metaphorical, and says if they get kicked out, they can always crash at her place. She lives alone, which raises some questions, but okay. Cut to Naoto chilling with his little sister. She wakes up, probably sensing the emotional wreckage in the air, and asks if he fought with Tamayo again. She pleads with him not to abandon her, no matter what. Aw, cue trauma. Meanwhile, Tamayo walks out of the bathroom, realizes her glasses are missing, and, plot twist, the damn cat stole them. She chases it in nothing but a towel, smacks straight into the door, drops the towel, and boom, she crashes into Naoto. Dude sees everything, like everything. Front row IMAX 4K. She bolts back to the bathroom, mortified, yelling at him to get the hell out of her house. Which is fair. If some dude saw me naked mid-cat chase, I'd exorcise him from the building too. But Nato, still haunted by the ghost of awkward boners, tells her he's been thinking. When she let them use the garden, it meant she didn't actually mind them sticking around, right? And gardens take forever to grow. Tamayo cuts the crap and tells him to get to the point. So he does. Straight up begs her not to kick them out. Says she's the only one who's treated them like actual people and not stray dogs. She walks out again, dressed this time, thank God, gets her glasses and hits him with the classic, "Is that girl your girlfriend?" Nato, still dripping with secondhand shame, explains she's just a childhood friend, wants to help with the garden. And no, he's not thinking about girls right now. His mind is all on Suzushiro. So Tamayo gives them a pass. They can stay. But she makes it very clear, focus on the papayas in the ground, not the ones under the shirts, you hormonal garden gnome. Later, Suzushiro asks Tamayo to help in the garden. Tamayo hits her with the ultimate Gen Z answer, hard pass. That sounds boring as hell. Nato brings up that their dad told them Tamayo used to have a garden too. Bad move. Her aura shifts like a final boss cutscene, and she basically hisses, "Don't talk about my brother. Dude grosses me the fuck out." Okay, emotional landmine activated. Next morning, Suzushiro tells Sasuke that they're not getting kicked out. Yay! They'll share the veggies with Tamayo once they're ripe. It's a wholesome moment, if you ignore all the sexual tension and emotional trauma hovering over everyone like smog. Naoto is confused why they're now going to school with Sasuke. Nobody invited her. She just showed up, probably just marking territory like a cat that screams trauma in cursive. Few days later, the radishes sprout. Naoto, a certified horticulture expert via Wikipedia, tells his sister they'll be harvest ready in 20 days. But then he finds a math test where his sister got a big fat 3 out of 10. Jesus, that's not a grade, that's a cry for help. She says it was hard, so he offers to be her tutor. Also reminds her that since they moved, he hasn't helped her study at all. Brother of the year right here. Naoto, our emotionally constipated protagonist, tells Suzushiro to stop depending on him for everything like he's her emotional service dog. But Suzushiro, she hits him with, "You're mine, and I'll keep you till I die." Next day at school, Yukari pops in like, "Help me study for the exams, Naoto." And this dude, being the humble messiah he thinks he is, turns her down, saying he's too dumb and will drag her grades into a flaming ditch. Yukari ain't buying that self-pity crap though, and makes him promise to think about it. She's not just after test scores, and we all know it. This smells like one of those study sessions where the only thing getting worked is pelvic tension. Anyway, school ends and bam, it's raining. And guess who's the only dumbass in all of Japan without a damn umbrella? Bro pulled up like it was July in Arizona. But then, Satsuki shows up with an extra umbrella like she's some kind of soggy guardian angel. Naoto's all confused like, "Why weren't you with us this morning?" And she's like, "Oh, I was. Just didn't want to ruin your little Disney moment with your sister. I followed you from a safe distance, not creepy at all, and instead of calling the cops, he thanks her." Dude gets home, realizes Suzushiro isn't back, blames the rain, opens a closet to get a jacket, and instead finds a math exam. Plot twist, she got a perfect score, 10 out of 10, and this genius girl lied and told him she failed just to bait him into tutoring her. Yeah, manipulation level big brain gaslight. So then Suzushiro comes home and he hides the test like it's porn. She tells him she walked some friend home who didn't have an umbrella. And just like that, Naoto's mood drops faster than crypto. So he does what every emotionally broken anime boy does, goes out for a dramatic walk in the rain like he's the lead in a sad indie music video. Cue Satsuki again, now soaked to the bone, because, surprise, she lied about having a spare umbrella. Probably because she wanted to see if he'd cover her up like some soggy knight in shining trauma. She notices he's all moody and asks, "Did you fight with your sister or just life in general?" He walks her home, and let me tell you, her apartment looks like a war crime. Pretty sure it has mold that has evolved sentience. Turns out she lives like 3 minutes away, so yeah, she's basically his tragic neighbor. He tries to leave, but she grabs him and pulls him inside. Not for the sexy reasons, more like emotional hostage taking. She says, "Your sister can stay alone. You should think about yourself sometimes. And Naoto, already on edge, screams at her to stop acting like she knows him, because heaven forbid someone tries to understand this hot mess. He storms out, she collapses on the floor like someone turned off her will to live. Probably sleeps there too. Girl's got no bed, just vibes and regrets. Back at home, Naoto realizes Suzushiro's been his emotional pacifier all along, and maybe, just maybe, it's time to let her grow up and stop treating her like a precious porcelain trauma baby. He brings her candy as a peace offering. She thinks he bailed on her emotionally again. He says nah, he just needs a couple hours on Sunday to study with a friend. She starts crying like she's been betrayed by a rom-com protagonist and reminds him he promised to tutor her. Then he drops the 10-10 exam on her like a mic. You don't need tutoring, you need therapy. She crumples the paper and throws it like it insulted her ancestors, claims it was all luck, that she's actually trash, and that she needs him like a fish needs water or boomers need conspiracy theories. Naoto starts feeling bad. Classic male kilt reboot sequence. And then just drops. Bro got hit with the anime flu. One drop of rain and he's down bad like it's the Black Plague. Next morning, he's sick in bed. Suzushiro wants to play nurse, but he tells her she's old enough to go to school alone. Wakes up later and finds Satsuki lying next to him, uninvited and unannounced, like a human jump scare. Dude's like, how the hell did you get in here? And she just goes, back door? That's not even subtext. That's just horny burglar energy. She pulls out a box of suppositories like it's candy and says it's what her mom used when she was sick. Suppositories, bro. Ain't nothing says get well soon like someone trying to breach your back entrance while you're unconscious. Naoto, confused and semi-conscious, is like, you remember that from 6 years ago? She's like, yup. Also, school's over. Bro, she skipped class and brought butt meds. That's a red flag bouquet. Then, ding dong, guess who? Yup, the actual crush shows up with soup like some nurturing waifu. So now our dude is sick, in bed with 2 girls in a passive-aggressive war over his lukewarm body, one with soup, the other with butt bullets. Satsuki's in Naoto's bed, all pissed off because some chick with big tits showed up. But just as Naoto's making himself comfy in the sheets with her, Ishihara rolls up with some suppositories, grinning like she's got a secret. This is gonna hurt, but you're gonna like it, she says. Naoto starts acting dumb, like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Naoto's dying inside, and in the middle of his fever, he ends up staining his PJs. Smooth, dude, real smooth. Ishihara leaves him with some special food and bounces. Naoto's stuck with Satsuki, who's got a weird, perverted little grin under the blankets. Meanwhile, Ishihara's off to the temple, wondering if there's more going on between them than just friendship. Spoiler alert, there's definitely more going on, but Naoto's too thick to realize. Naoto tries the food, and for a second, he thinks it's from a damn soup kitchen. But whatever, he shoves it down because, hey, he's in love or whatever that's supposed to mean. Satsuki heads out to check the garden and spots Suzushiro creeping around like a stalker. Satsuki asks why she's not visiting her brother, and Suzushiro just casually drops, I don't need him anymore. I've grown up. Satsuki laughs and then yells at her not to rip up the basil because it's best friends with the tomatoes and they kill pests. Suzushiro gets the hint and decides to go see her brother, like the basil who needs his tomato fix. Then Suzushiro drops the real bombshell. She was there the day Naoto broke down crying. What she saw that day was some strange dude congratulating Satsuki. Suspicious much? Suzushiro asks who that guy was, and Satsuki, being the queen of gaslighting, lies like a pro. There was no one, just a tantrum with Naoto, she says, then tells her not to tell anyone about it, cause you know, secrecy and all that. Suzushiro leaves with her brother, who's lost the garden and his best friend, but whatever. Suzushiro's happy now because Naoto's all hers. The next day, Suzushiro wakes up, looking all grown up, and Naoto's like, it's nice that you're not a burden anymore. But deep down, she's still that selfish little girl. Some things never change. Naoto spends the whole day at school waiting for his chance to talk to Ishihara, but nope, it's a no-go. All the other guys are drooling over her, debating whether she's hot or on fire. Then Naoto sees a group of guys heading toward Ishihara. Ishihara, being the badass she is, tells them to get lost. Naoto takes his shot and thanks her for the food, but he chickens out when it comes to asking her out. Guess who's got the balls here? Ishihara, because she straight up invites him to study together. They go to the library, and while they're studying, Ishihara fills him in on everything he missed while he was sick. Naoto starts realizing he's losing his mind over her, but being the dumbass he is, says it out loud. Ishihara responds like it's no big deal. "I'm helping you out of charity, new kid," but then drops the truth bomb. "Yeah, I'm into you because you're not like all the other assholes." Naoto, being a goldfish with memory loss, doesn't even remember their first meeting, so Ishihara jogs his memory. Turns out, one day she was all sweaty and changing in the classroom when Naoto barged in looking for his sister. He didn't even notice her, completely skipped over the fact that the most popular girl in school was practically naked. Ishihara begs him not to remember it, but Naoto's dying of embarrassment. Ishihara tells him she likes him because he's got his priorities straight, not like the rest of the horny idiots who just want to get in her pants. And then, in a burst of honesty, she bolts out of the room before she can finish the confession. So, Ishihara walks out and bumps into Satsuki, who's just chilling, waiting for a damn ride. Ishihara starts to wonder if things between her and Naoto are about to take a twist. But nah, Naoto just happily strolls off with Takui to grab some food, chatting about what Ishihara told him like he's some kind of monk now. All I gotta become a saint to win her heart. Takui, being the absolute fucking troll he is, asks if Naoto's getting with Satsuki too. Naoto's like, "Nah man, we're just childhood friends." That night, Naoto's trying to study for exams, but all he can think about are Ishihara's tits. He's stressing trying to focus, but nah, his brain's filled with nothing but dirty thoughts about Satsuki and Ishihara. And then, out of nowhere, he realizes Suzushiro's been creeping on him the whole time. He panics, dips to the bathroom like the coward he is. Meanwhile, Ishihara's in the bathroom too, contemplating her life and realizing that if she doesn't make a move soon, someone else is gonna beat her to it. Her game's weak as hell, but she's ready to pounce. Next day, from that point on, Naoto tries to keep his mind as pure as a nun's, but surprise, surprise, he ends up wetting Satsuki with a hose like some middle school perv. At school, Satsuki's playing the teasing game, calling him out for thinking about Ishihara's boobs all night. This is when Naoto realizes, hold up, Satsuki's panties are in the wash, which means there's nothing under her skirt. She doesn't complain, but then hits him with the warning. "If anyone sees under my skirt, you're done. Your social life's toast, buddy." When Ishihara shows up, Naoto can't stop staring at Satsuki, and Ishihara's catching on. She can feel the shift, like a hungry predator circling its prey. So she makes her move and invites Naoto out after the exams. Naoto, being the dumbass he is, agrees without a second thought, like he's not about to make a complete fool of himself. And just as they're walking, a breeze lifts the girl's skirts, and Naoto, desperate to avoid showing them what they should never see, dives behind Satsuki like the scum he is. Of course, Ishihara spots him. Naoto's blaming Satsuki like, "Why'd you ruin everything?" But she tells him it wasn't that serious. And besides, under her skirt, it's not just hair. She's actually wearing his underwear, the one Suzu, his little sis, lent her this morning. So yeah, he ended up looking like a total perv for absolutely nothing. A week later, Ishihara's cold as ice towards him, so Takui suggests hitting up the beach, and the girls are all over it. No surprise there, right? But hey, Naoto's probably just thinking about boobs again. So our boy Naoto finally caves and agrees to go to the beach party Takui planned, because peer pressure and boobs are powerful forces. But plot twist, Ichihara's acting all weird, like she's about to file a restraining order or some shit. And then there's the real crisis. How the hell is Naoto supposed to explain to his precious little sister Suzu that he's ditching her for the weekend to go frolic in the sand with two top-tier anime waifus? Luckily, the universe throws him a bone. Suzu's got her own school trip. But then karma comes in swinging. Suzu finds out about the beach trip and gets that abandoned child from a sad piano commercial look. So to soften the blow, she asks Naoto to take her swimsuit shopping. At school, Satsuki hears Naoto freaking out about entering the bikini zone without looking like a pervert, so she offers to tag along. Of course he agrees. What could possibly go wrong? Answer Ichihara, who sees them together and instantly assumes they're bumping uglies behind the melon section. She spirals so hard she's ready to cancel the beach trip and her entire personality. But Takui, MVP, wingman, absolute menace, convinces her to still go. Meanwhile, Suzu's out here hunting for the cutest bikini ever, and Naoto hits her with the "cover those sins, child of God" speech. Ichihara spying on them like some jealous ex from a telenovela and decides, you know what? Screw subtlety. She busts out the killer bikini and struts like she's auditioning for softcore Baywatch. Naoto sees her, doesn't recognize her, just mutters, "Damn, women these days really out here just flaunting it like it's a clearance sale." Later, Naoto walks into the wrong changing room and gets front row seats to the Satsuki show. Full uncensored glory. Soul exposed. She goes beet red and runs. He thinks she's mad, but plot twist, she's hella into it. Homegirl's been feeding off that accidental peep like it's emotional cocaine. Meanwhile, Ichihara sees them talking, her brain detonates like a middle school relationship. She's fully convinced they're dating, married, and raising cats already. Then, out of nowhere, Satsuki drops some childhood trauma. "Remember when I ruined your entire fucking life by destroying your garden and you never told anyone I was Satan incarnate?" And Naoto, being the idiot saint that he is, just shrugs. "That was between you and me. No one else needed to know." They reach the station. Boom, Ichihara ambushes. "Y'all screwing or what?" Naoto tries to explain the flying skirt, the accidental hug, but Ichihara ain't buying it. What does piss her off? Seeing them kiss. Yeah, that happened. Satsuki, savage level 100, just shrugs. "I hand out kisses like coupons, babe." And to prove it, plants one on Ichihara's cheek. Girl's got balls made of vibranium. Somehow, that works. Crisis averted. Ichihara's like, fine, but that kiss doesn't count, because women's logic in anime is powered by black holes. Then, Naoto drops a heart-melting truth bomb. "Satsuki's just my horny childhood friend. You're the one I like." Ichihara melts. Instant forgiveness. She agrees to go to the beach. Cut to beach day. Naoto nearly has a stroke seeing Ichihara in a bikini. Can't blame him. Satsuki, meanwhile, gets the cold shoulder. None of the girls like her. Naoto's in a new world. No sister, no filters, no rules. Surrounded by bros and babes and sand and uncomfortable places. He tries to talk to Ichihara, but she's got more flies buzzing around her than a popsicle in July. Satsuki, she almost breaks a dude's arm for touching her. Naoto drags her away and gives her the "don't be a psycho" talk. She ignores it, flexes her bikini, and fires off, "Why don't you just go run off with your titty goddess?" Right before they can make up, Tokui appears like a plot device from hell and tells Naoto to go buy stuff with Ichihara. Surprise, the shopping list is fake. It's a setup. Meanwhile, Tokui and Satsuki talk. She doesn't swim with other girls because, shocker, they suck. Tokui asks if she likes Naoto. She says, "Yeah, but I don't want to date him. I just want to shove my tongue down his throat a couple times." Back to Naoto and Ichihara. They're walking together, super cutesy. Everyone's staring like, why is this absolute 0 dating a 10? Two jealous meatheads try to start something. Naoto panics and grabs her hand. Cue accidental romance. He confesses he can't stop staring at her milk missiles. She giggles and drops the bomb, "I wore this bikini just for you, dummy." Everything's golden. Until Yukari shows up. Cue flashbacks. Apparently, he was Ichihara's ex, crush, maybe her emotional support himbo. Whatever the deal was, it ended in pure heartbreak. Meanwhile, back at the beach, Tokui overhears girls thirsting over Yukari, and he knows. Naoto's out here playing low-budget Sherlock, trying to dig up dirt on a mysterious dude who ditched Ishihara. Turns out the guy's a billionaire, stupid handsome, daddy runs a hospital, and, oh yeah, he was the goddamn president of the student council until graduation. Naoto, who's got nothing but a sad little vegetable patch in his aunt's backyard, suddenly feels like a bean next to a filet mignon. And bam, runs into Fuyoka, who just happens to be here for Ishihara. This Giga Chad hands Naoto some candy like he's trick-or-treating for self-esteem and strolls off to ask about his waifu at the front desk. Naoto's depression meter hits 200%. But then Satsuki shows up and he remembers, oh shit, he promised to go to the beach with her. Forgot completely, like an absolute dickhead. Instead of slapping him, she surprises him with a "you can squeeze my opie to cheer up" coupon. Did not see that side quest coming. Meanwhile, Fuyoka tracks down Ishihara and just drops a straight-up date me quest line, wanting to pick things up where we left off. She almost sends him packing, but agrees to meet and talk about their roles. Satsuki swings by Ishihara's spot and delivers Naoto's dinner invite. Cut back to Naoto, and some random dudes ask if he's dating Satsuki. He says nah, just childhood friends. They're like, cool, guess we can take her somewhere dark cause she looks like easy ass. Naoto goes into white knight mode to defend our honor, while also casually mentioning she let him squeeze her boobs, which, yeah, sounds bad, but it's totally platonic, I think? Shut up, you get it. Back with Ishihara, she turns down Naoto's dinner offer, but assures Satsuki that Fuyoka was never her boyfriend. Flashback time. High school Fuyoka asks her out. She says she's too young for that stuff and runs off like she's allergic to commitment. Nosy girls assume they dated. Satsuki tells them they didn't, but nobody buys it, cause those two were tighter than a nun's knees. Ishihara finally shows up for her date with Fuyoka just to tell him to fuck off, but Mule Boy convinces her to at least eat with him. Apparently, in high school, this guy was on a constant booty hunt, using social pressure like a true manipulative bastard until she half-dated him. He let her go at graduation with a, "I'll be back," and surprise bitch, he meant it. But Ishihara hits him with, "I've got someone else now, and he's way better." Fuyoka lands a low blow asking if that guy will keep his eyes only on her, which makes Ishihara realize Satsuki might just swoop in for Naoto. Cue her trademark run away like an idiot move. While Naoto and Satsuki wait, Fuyoka shows up with Ishihara's note, "Can't be with you, going alone." Nobody knows where she went until Tokui, MVP of common sense, suggests the radical idea of calling her phone. She picks up, says she took the wrong path and needs to think, and also tells Fuyoka to fuck right off. Tokui, smelling this rom-com plot rotten in the sun, tells Naoto to stop being a coward, man up, and confess already. Nato's out here sprinting like a budget Flash, finally tracking down Ishihara, but she's still got more trust issues than a Tinder date with no profile pics. She's not buying that whole Satsuki is just a childhood friend crap, cause she knows damn well how guys operate. Lie, cheat, smash, repeat. And honestly, can't blame her. She tries to bolt again and promptly snaps a heel, which is hilarious because this chick has spent the entire goddamn anime running. With no escape route, Nato just scoops her up like some overdramatic rom-com hero while she's thinking she's heavy cause she's been eating all day. Meanwhile, Nato's grinning like an idiot, not because romance is in the air, but because the lucky bastard's got a front row seat to Boobsville for the whole walk back. She tells him to put her down and drops the bomb. She never dated Fuyoka. She's just a coward who's sick of swallowing her feelings. Says she admires how Nato defended Satsuki without giving a crap about gossip, and that gave her some guts. Then she goes for the big confession. From morning to night, she wants to be his. And boom, right on cue, in barges Fuyoka with a pack of students trying to pull the same tired public love declaration stunt. He's like, "Come with me, this loser's broke, we can be together again." Nato, bless his zero fucks given energy, announces in front of everyone that these two were never a couple and that Fuyoka gaslit the whole damn school. Fuyoka tries to salvage his ego by asking Ishihara to confirm their beautiful long relationship, but she, fully leveled up into savage mode, adjusts her skirt and hits him with, "Don't even know you, bro. Never liked you, never will, and you give me the creeps. Get lost." Dude's wrecked, just flatlined in public. But he doubles down with the classic toxic line, "You're confused. Nobody else will put up with you like I do." She's done, tells him to go fuck himself again. He snaps, grabs her, orders her to obey him, and here comes Satsuki, flying in with a knee to his spine like it's WWE Sunday Night SmackDown. She tells him she'll report him, and the guy, clutching his back, says he'll report her too for attempted murder. Back at the hotel, the three gossip gremlins apologize. They had no idea Fuyoka was that obsessed and creepy. Tokui warns he might try something again, but Ishihara says she can shut him down solo now. Tokui asks if there's anything going on with Nato, but she says nope, he still hasn't confessed and she'll wait. Then she thanks Satsuki, who points out she didn't do this for Ishihara's sake. She did it for Nato. Ishihara promises she won't lose to her and sprints off like it's episode 1 again. Cut to Nato and Satsuki alone. They chat about Ishihara and Tokui, then she drops a "you're the only one I care about," but also calls him out for being too damn nice to everyone, which is gonna bite him in the ass someday. She asks to try his plum onigiri, except he already ate it. So she uses plan B, grabs him and plants a full-on kiss, stealing the flavor straight from his lips. Before she leaves, she warns him, keep being this nice to her and he might just regret it later. And judging by the look on his face, he's already halfway there. Naoto is still mentally wrecked over that kiss Satsuki forced on him. He remembers back when they were kids, before the whole vegetable drama, when she went over to his house. They had fun watching TV and strolling around town until the girl tapped out after like 10 steps, whining she's got short-ass legs. Naoto, playing the gentleman, grabs her hand and drags her to his so-called secret spot, except, surprise, every secret spot is about as private as a public restroom. They end up going home at night, and Naoto's family, in peak shitty parenting mode, sends Satsuki home alone through the dark. She leaves with this sus-ass look on her face like she's plotting some psycho Lifetime movie shit. Flash forward, Suzu shows up at the house after a few days and reminds her dumbass brother that the garden looks like Jumanji and needs trimming. He nods, but in his head he's already wondering if Satsuki's gonna show up like usual. Spoiler, she doesn't. Meanwhile, Ishihara is practicing her love confession in front of the mirror like a YouTube tutorial junkie. Today's the day she's either gonna bag Naoto or spiral into full-blown insanity. Naoto, still worried, goes looking for Satsuki. She straight up asks him if he didn't feel shit from her stolen kiss. He freezes like an idiot. She tries some reverse psychology, fails, then basically tells him to fuck off like a stray dog. From a distance, Suzu watches, confirming her brother is the biggest dumbass alive. At school, Naoto bumps into Ishihara, who's finally ready to confess. Except the moment she opens her mouth, 3 dipshits crash the party because she announced on that trip that she's single and desperate. Now Ishihara's the new buffet everyone wants a plate from. And Naoto? Clueless as hell, still stuck wondering if he actually wants her or if Satsuki fried his brain. Cut to Satsuki being a full emo under a tree, crying to the sky like some My Chemical Romance fan until Tokui struts in because someone has to keep this dumpster fire of a plot moving. He asks what's up, and she admits she catches feelings every time she sees Naoto, but if she really goes for it, shit's gonna implode. She whispers her secret plans to Tokui, but the anime censors us out. Back at school, Ishihara goes for attempt number 2. She asks Naoto to walk home together, but then the loudspeaker calls everyone to clean the pool. Great timing, assholes. She heads to the locker room to change, but the genius walks into the boys' side. And guess who shows up? Naoto. More dudes are about to walk in, so Naoto locks the door with her inside. Ishihara's like, yeah, I wanted to talk in private, but not this goddamn private, you perv. She remembers this is exactly how she first met him, half naked and awkward. She's about to drop the big confession when Naoto, in true anime fashion, trips right onto her, smashing them together in a horny accidental cuddle, complete with bonus squeeze. So Ishihara, finally growing a pair, straight up tells Naoto she likes him, and then bolts like Scooby-Doo on crack. Later, she corners him again, dead serious this time, telling him to quit playing dumb and answer if he wants to date her. Naoto, being the indecisive sack of shit he is, freezes. She spares him the embarrassment, says he doesn't need to answer right away, and then sprints off, except she sprints straight into a wall. Naoto can't believe his dream waifu actually confessed, but he also knows this anime's got like 6 more episodes, so obviously we ain't solving shit yet. He gets home, Suzu asks if he patched things up with Satsuki. He says no, so Suzu plays plot device and tells him to go apologize with some damn tomatoes, because nothing says I'm sorry like produce. Naoto heads to Satsuki's house, nobody opens, so the dude just breaks in like a fucking burglar. The place looks like one of those depressing poverty documentaries. Busted furniture, no decorations, the whole vibe screams kill me. He spots a calendar, marked up with her work schedule, conveniently circling today's gig with the exact location. Thanks, plot armor. He finds her handing out flyers in some slutty promo outfit next to a poor bastard cooking alive inside a mascot suit. Satsuki sees Naoto and immediately tells him to fuck off. He begs forgiveness, she gets even more pissed, and then her boss jumps in like, hey kid, put on the furry suit, the other guy's basically dead. Naoto, dumb enough to agree, spends the day suffocating in the costume, wrangling kids, taking selfies, handing out balloons, even guiding lost grandmas like he's some kind of sweaty Disney employee. Then some scumbags try hitting on Satsuki, and Naoto defends her by tanking punches with his face until the guys get bored and leave. Mission accomplished, I guess. Afterwards, Satsuki confronts him, asking how the hell he found her. He admits he broke into her house and saw the calendar. She reminds him that's literally breaking and entering. He brushes it off like, chill, I was worried about you. Then has the balls to tell her to fix her door so her family won't worry. That's when she drops the bomb. She doesn't have a family. Naoto, smooth as sandpaper, tells her that if she's got no one, he'll be the one to worry because, you know, childhood friends forever. And she actually eats that shit up, saying, fine, let's stay childhood friends till death. No pressure, just eternal friend zoning. He walks her home, and she casually asks if Ishihara already confessed. He admits, yeah, but he's clueless about what to do. Satsuki says she trusts he'll figure it out, which is code for don't pick the other bitch, idiot. Next day, game time. Naoto heads out to finally give Ishihara the answer she's been waiting for. The poor girl's been sweating bullets since yesterday. This is it, the big reveal. Will he crush her dreams or give in? Place your bets, degenerates. So Naoto's big response to Ishihara's confession? A fat, greasy no. Yeah, you heard that right. Homeboy looked a girl with cartoon-level knockers dead in the eye and said, nah, I'll pass. His excuse? Oh, he can't give her the love she deserved, but Ishihara? She doesn't play. She hits him with a mafia-level deal. Let's date over the summer, see what happens. If you don't like my package, then fine, it's over. And Naoto calls it disrespectful. Bro, she's offering you premium girlfriend DLC and you're acting like she just asked for your kidneys. She straight up tells him stop being a pussy. And of course, he folds. Then Naoto runs to the true MVP, Tokui, to spill the tea. Tokui's like, wait, didn't you say you liked her a ton? Then why not just ram your Metapod into her Pokeball, dumbass? And Naoto's all like, it's precisely because I like her so much. I don't want to disappoint her. He even starts planning his big boy future. Graduate, grab some shitty part-time gigs, save money, buy a place, raise his little sister, and, oh yeah, finally have somewhere to rail Ishihara without Suzu cock blocking. Then Satsuki pops in because guess where he's monologuing about his private life? The goddamn restaurant where she works. Of course, she hears everything. She congratulates him on bagging Miss Watermelons and then announces she's quitting for a better job. Naoto thinks about working there too, but surprise, now he'd basically be her replacement. So he sits in the waiting room and here comes disaster number 37. He spots a pink-haired waifu asleep and decides, hey, why not lean in super close like a registered sex offender? She wakes up, freaks, accuses him of trying to kiss her, and straight up rats him out to the manager. Nobody buys his excuses. Manager drags him into an interview, pink-haired girl digs through the paperwork and learns his full name. Naturally, the interview goes to hell, and Naoto knows they're not hiring his sorry ass. On his way home, he bumps into Ishihara, promises that once he gets a job, he'll buy a phone, assuming anyone would actually hire this clown. At this point, his best shot is becoming a YouTuber ranting about anime titties. Still, Ishihara asks him out before exams, and boom, they set their first official date. Small win, right? Except this dumbass shows up with a chaperone, his sister Suzu, who's just thrilled big bro finally found someone who isn't porn. Ishihara, ever the strategist, uses this to win Suzu over with her Disney princess act. Meanwhile, Tokui and Satsuki are tailing them from a bridge. She's spying like a professional stalker. He's just there cause he's got nothing better to do. So the zoo day kicks off and little Suzu suddenly forgets she's supposed to be the bratty little sister and goes full Dora the Explorer. Meanwhile, poor Satsuki is scared shitless because apparently first time at a zoo is the same as Vietnam flashbacks for her. But hey, Ishihara is having a blast. She tells Nato it's been ages since she's been to a place like this, and just when things look sweet and wholesome, bam, Suzu gets hangry. No worries though, Ishihara whips out a picnic basket like Mary Poppins on steroids. Smells amazing too. Nato side-eyes it, remembering the last time her cooking almost sent him straight to Jesus. But surprise, this time it actually tastes good. Thank mom for not letting her culinary war crimes happen again. Ishihara keeps racking up waifu points like she's trying to speedrun Perfect Girlfriend any percent, while Suzu sulks because Big Bro doesn't orbit around her anymore. Meanwhile, Tokui and Satsuki are still stalking from the sidelines, arguing about why they're even there. Tokui's already mentally checked out, probably regretting every decision that led him here. Then comes the big hand-holding moment. Slow, awkward, like two middle schoolers about to defuse a bomb. And of course, Suzu ruins it with a majestic, "I need to pee." And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, boom! Tokui and Satsuki show up and confess they've been spying. Nato forgives Tokui because that's his bro, but Satsuki? Nah, she's already on his personal FBI watch list. To patch things up, Satsuki drags Tokui and Suzu off for ice cream, leaving the lovebirds alone. Nato, professional simp that he is, starts with an apology instead of just talking like a human. Ishihara wants to grill him about Satsuki, like, bro, are you still into her? Why do you act like a dog spotting a squirrel every time she's around? Couples walk by holding hands. Nato starts sweating like a nun in a strip club, so Ishihara just grabs his damn finger to force him into action. Dude finally mans up and takes her hand properly. For the Japanese, that's basically second base. After the date, Nato can't even sleep. Dude's high off the adrenaline of holding hands like he just discovered sex exists. He's lying in bed imagining the next step. Ishihara, meanwhile, is also floating on cloud 9, swearing she won't wash her hand. But deep down, she feels like player 2, because remember, Satsuki already smooched him a few episodes back. Next day, Nato's walking around when Ishihara's creepy fan club corners him with the classic, "So, is she your girlfriend or not?" situation. If he says the wrong thing, they'll stomp his ass, so he pulls the classic coward move, deflect. Meanwhile, Ishihara hits up the pharmacy and, oh boy, buys that thing that starts with C. Yeah, I can't say it here or YouTube will nuke me, but let's just say her shopping bag is glowing with horny intentions. But plot twist, mystery pink-haired chick pops up at school. She tells the others to inform Nato that his new waifu just clocked in. Translation, shit's about to get messy. So Satsuki, with that classic "I'm asking but really I'm just judging your pathetic ass" tone, hits Naoto with the question, "So what the fuck are you doing with your life?" And Naoto basically says, nothing since the zoo trip with Ishihara." Satsuki looks at him like, "Bro, I meant your job, but clearly your dick is doing all the thinking here." Then boom! Ishihara shows up, inviting him to study like some nerd's wet dream. But plot twist, outside is Makina, ex-track star, loud as hell, bragging that Naoto was always too much of a lazy fuck to train. Now she's famous nationwide and rubbing it in his face. She also casually announces that they're co-workers now, and before Ishihara can blink, Makina drags Naoto shopping because apparently this clown doesn't even own a cell phone. Ishihara and Satsuki just watch, like, damn, girl just kidnapped him and claimed him as her man. Alone, Makina asks if he tried to kiss her during the job interview nap time. Naoto, sweating like a guilty priest, says he only wanted to check it was really her, since they hadn't met in ages. Also, yeah, he admits she changed physically, but tells her to stop being annoying. Then she buys him a phone, grinning, and asks to be his first contact. But Naoto, savage mode, calls Ishihara first. Makina freezes, accusing him of lying about not having a girlfriend. Naoto, without missing a beat, says he just didn't want Ishihara's stalkers to beat his ass in an alley. Makina's not buying it. She's convinced the mystery blonde is the real issue. Later, back at the girls' dorm, she gets scolded for curfew, strips to her underwear, and lies on the bed like, fuck it, if I can't have Naoto seriously, I'll just keep him as a part-time dildo. Old game console, easy to turn on whenever I feel like it. Next day at work, Naoto is trying to actually do his job, but Makina is in full horny gremlin mode, flirting in the kitchen. He shuts her down. Still, Makina doesn't give up. While taking out the trash, she straight up asks if Naoto has plans with his girlfriend. He says yes. She immediately unbuttons her shirt, lets her hair down, and goes, "So who's hotter, her or me?" Naoto, like a babysitter for a drunk chihuahua, covers her up and tells her to stop this dumb shit. Of course, the manager walks in, sees her half naked, and shouts, "This is a restaurant, not a cheap strip club." Suddenly, she decides to actually work, and holy shit, she nails it. Even the manager praises her. And Makina, who thought this was just a half-assed job, gets her first taste of genuine approval in years. She's like, damn, being useful feels kinda good. Makina's just chilling in the locker room when, bam, she runs into Satsuki. And this bitch doesn't even say hi. She goes straight caveman mode and grabs her tits like, small. Disappointing. Naoto likes them bigger. You lose. Like, who the fuck does that? Makina freezes, seriously considering calling HR, the cops, because what the hell was that? Then, she storms after Naoto, accusing him of hooking up with that pervy blonde molesting bitch. But of course, Satsuki herself walks right past him, and Naoto, smooth brain that he is, suddenly gets curious about her job. Like, yo, where's she working? Makina's pissed but follows anyway. They trail her into this shady-ass alley packed with weird bars, the type of places where you're either served by ninjas in thongs or nuns with whips. Then, out of nowhere, Makina's old track team captain shows up and roasts her like, "You really gonna hang out here?" Makina leaves to clear the misunderstanding. Suddenly, Naoto remembers, oh shit, he ditched Ishihara. He runs to her, blurts out that Makina reminds him of the little sister he always wanted, completely forgetting he already has a little sister. Ishihara, like the angel she is, ignores his stupidity and instead tells him to come over in summer to taste her cooking. But Naoto still can't get Satsuki out of his head. He knows she's all alone in the world, so he goes to visit her. She's broke as hell, but still offers him a glass of water like it's champagne. He tells her if she ever needs him, he'll be there. She's so happy she even offers him a damn foot massage. Yeah, you heard me. Girl's got a fetish. And it gets real hot. Like, she's basically asking, so what are the limits of childhood friendship? Naoto's about to fold like a lawn chair when his phone saves him. Ishihara texts, killing the horny vibe instantly. Satsuki, blushing like a tomato, apologizes and explains the whole shady alley thing was just a shortcut. She's not desperate, not abandoned, she lives alone by choice. And no, she's not selling ass behind the karaoke bar. Naoto finally breathes easy, but then, of course, Makina calls. She's like, hey babe, fireworks tonight? Also, I already told everyone you're my boyfriend. And Naoto, completely done with her psycho energy, just shuts her down. Because dude already has 2 other women circling him like sharks, and he doesn't need a third one trying to mark her territory. So, our boy gets a text from Tokui the Chad, bro. Invite Ishihara to the fireworks. He actually does it. Problem? Girl already had plans with her friends. No romantic date tonight, buddy. But she throws him a bone, tells him she's got a surprise for next week. Anyway, Naoto ends up going to the festival with his little sister and her friend Kanda. Mid-festival, Tokui texts again. Makina bolted to the shrine. Apparently, he was with her 2 seconds ago. Naoto goes after her and finds Makina pissed as hell because Genius Boy sent Tokui to pose as her fake boyfriend. Girl gets nervous with Tokui because he's too mature, so she admits she'd rather play pretend with Naoto. Cute, but also pathetic. Then, boom, 2 creeps try to harass her. Since they're annoyingly persistent, Naoto tells her to run. Lucky for her, she's an athlete, so she leaves those dudes coughing up dust in seconds. Naoto catches up later, and she asks, what would you do if you had a girlfriend and couldn't run away from stuff like that? Bro goes full knight in shining armor. I'd die for her. She'd be the most important person in my life. Makina blushes harder than a nun at a strip club, whispers she'd like him to protect her like that, but fireworks go off and he doesn't hear shit. Then Ishihara pops up out of nowhere. Makina sees them together, instantly depressed. Like, how the fuck does this boring-ass dude have a girlfriend that hot? Tears, running, boom. She confesses to the track captain that it wasn't envy all along. She actually loves Naoto. Meanwhile, Naoto and Ishihara dip on a train, leaving his sister with her friend whose parents are babysitting duty tonight. Turns out, Ishihara planned this whole thing just to get alone time with him. But then, rain. They end up at Naoto's house to hide out, only to bump into Satsuki outside, soaked like a drowned cat. Guy has no choice but to let her in too. Now we've got girlfriend and childhood friend under the same roof. Cue the tension. While showering, Satsuki can't help but throw jealous comments about Ishihara's massive rack. It's obvious as hell she's in her feelings. Satsuki pretends she's fine with it, but Ishihara is like, stop bottling up your feelings. Then Naoto gets another text. Suzu's friend is stuck in the rain and staying over. House lineup: Naoto, Ishihara, Satsuki, and Tamayo, who's dead asleep in her room and doesn't even realize 2 bombshells are walking around. Of course, Satsuki starts stirring shit. So, you sleeping with your girlfriend or what? Both Naoto and Ishihara freeze like virgins caught watching Pornhub on the family TV. Because, spoiler, they are virgins. Naoto's brain goes full horny teenager mode. He's got Ishihara literally 1 door away. But he's like, nah. Must be the correct boyfriend, must not unleash horny beast. Yeah, sure, bro. Good luck with that. Out of nowhere, Satsuki shows up, claims she just came over to use the bathroom. Naoto, being the polite dumbass he is, thanks her for helping cover the damn vegetable garden with a tarp during the rain. Night falls, everything seems chill, until Ishihara sneaks into Naoto's room while he's asleep. Girl's horny brain is like, tonight's the night, and she actually leans in to kiss him. But this clown, half asleep, swats her away mid-dream. She tries to dip quietly, but Naoto wakes up, squints at her and goes, "Satsuki? Congratulations, dumbass! You just called your girlfriend by your childhood friend's name. Fatality." Ishihara freezes, realizes this idiot's got Satsuki living rent-free in his head, and gets offended as hell. So she pulls out her one master plan to erase Satsuki from his brain. Fine, do whatever you want with me. Bro, that is not how therapy works. But okay. Naoto, nervous as hell, just thinks, maybe a kiss? Meanwhile, Ishihara's like, nah bitch, all in or nothing. No panties, too hot outside apparently, yeah, okay, and tells him to go for it, but gently, cause it's not exactly the right day for her plumbing system. Then, Naoto's brain short circuits. He remembers how she always praised him for being different from other guys, respectful and well-behaved. So what does this genius do? He pussies out, decides they shouldn't rush it. And Ishihara, heart shattered, mascara speed running down her face. She bolts, crying, convinced he now sees her as some desperate whore and she'll never be able to look him in the eye again. Naoto meanwhile sits there like, yeah, I did the right thing. And then 2 seconds later goes, fuck, my Metapod's been stuck using Harden for years and I just skipped my one chance. Next day, Naoto wakes up to a text from Ishihara. She dipped early, apologizing for last night's drama. Meanwhile, Satsuki hasn't left yet, then calls him an idiot anyway because, yeah, he's not like the usual horny clowns, but he also can't communicate for shit, and all he does is make his girlfriend suffer. Good dude, still a dumbass. Naoto, drowning in guilt, tries to text Ishihara an apology, but she ghosted his ass. At work, Makina tries to cheer him up, and this moron basically tells her to shut up and mind her own damn business. Imagine being depressed and a dick, man. Peak Naoto. Then Bossman strolls in with 2 leftover movie tickets. Makina plays hard to get, but folds instantly when Naoto asks her out. Meanwhile, Ishihara's spiraling. She thinks Naoto's about to dump her just because she tried to level up the relationship last night. Then rolls in Tokui, our certified anime Giga Chad, and she's so nervous, she starts word vomiting like an idiot. Tokui, smooth as hell, basically tells her to relax. Naoto's not leaving her, she just needs to trust him more. God damn, someone wifed this man already. She realizes he's right and decides to finally face Naoto instead of letting Satsuki steal him like a soap opera villain. Cut to the movies, Naoto's there with Makina, plus his little sister and her gremlin friend tagging along. Halfway through, Naoto's tired ass knocks out and ends up leaning on Makina's shoulder. Meanwhile, Ishihara's blowing up his phone with 23 calls. Next day, Naoto finally texts her an apology, but Ishihara suspects he was out on some romantic date with Satsuki. Bro can't catch a break even when he's innocent. Makina makes things worse, whispering poison like, 23 calls? That's a walking red flag, bro. That's toxic girlfriend behavior. Naoto feels guilty anyway and bolts to find Ishihara. Problem is, Makina follows like an NPC side quest and straight up invites him to dinner because, you know, they're close now. Right on cue, they bump into Ishihara. She's not ready to talk yet, wants to postpone the drama. But before leaving, Makina just nukes the scene with, hey, mind if I borrow your boyfriend while you two fix your little soap opera? Bruh, the audacity. Ishihara leaves half pissed, half trying to trust Naoto. The rest of the day, Naoto's basically Makina's pack mule, carrying her shopping bags like a donkey with a day job. He finally snaps and demands to know what this important thing she's been teasing is, and Makina finally confesses she likes someone and doesn't want to screw it up. Naoto, because he's not always a dumbass, softens up and tells her if she really wants it to work, she's gotta fight for it with that person. Shit gets weirder when Makina starts flirting around with lingerie shopping and then drags Naoto to a restaurant where, surprise, Satsuki's working. Makina, with zero shame, tells Naoto this doesn't count as cheating since she borrowed him from Ishihara. Like bitch is literally running a rental boyfriend service at this point. Satsuki, smirking like a cat in heat, even jokes that maybe she'll borrow him next time too. Makina, of course, feels like crap inside, still obsessed with her flat-chested status compared to these two walking titty goddesses. Naoto tries to calm her down with, "Relax, I don't love Ishihara for her body," then instantly admits, yeah, he still checks her out. Then Makina just straight up levels up the weirdness. She tells Naoto to spread his legs, hops on him, and basically offers up her lemons for a test squeeze, citing some dumbass rumor that massaging boobs makes them grow. Yeah, sure, that's science. She calls him a coward if he doesn't do it, and even throws in some poison. Ishihara would never want a chicken shit boyfriend. Add to that, she hints Ishihara's been distant, so this is his chance to man up. Naoto, pressured, finally says fine, I'll do it, and Makina immediately faints from the shock. Naoto, being his usual awkward virgin self, admits he's terrified of screwing up with Ishihara. Says he tries so hard to be the perfect man, but can't even string words together to apologize properly. Then he gives Makina some Hallmark-ass advice. If you like someone, work hard and improve yourself. Makina, offended as hell, claps back that he misunderstood. She wasn't trying to help him fix his romance, she was literally confessing her feelings. Then she bails, tossing out that she's got a date tomorrow with the guy she likes. But plot twist, Ishihara was listening the whole time. Instead of blowing up, she plays dumb and just asks him to repeat the part where he admitted how much he loves her. He nervously does it, they walk home hand in hand, and she tells him she was worried about last night, but that next time things will come more naturally. But no, Naoto's still too much of a virgin to keep the topic going, so he just changes the subject to future plans. Later, he realizes Makina forgot all her shopping bags with him. That night, Makina goes for a run, but her coaches warn her she's about to get booted from track if she keeps slacking. She thinks if she's kicked out, she'll have to change schools and maybe never see Naoto again. Then she shrugs it off. After all, she was never his number one anyway. Ouch. She's spiraling, convinced she's trash, until Naoto shows up mid-training just to hand her the clothes she left behind. One tiny gesture and she's suddenly remotivated, thinking maybe there is a spot for her in his heart. Next day, she even shows up at his house and tells Suzu she's quitting the club. Suzu, savage little sister energy, tells her she should also quit chasing her brother, cause Naoto will never put her first. Makina, full clown mode, refuses, says love's about being shameless and never giving up. Suzu just stares at her like, yep, this bitch has officially lost it. If you somehow made it all the way to this part of the video, congrats! You've got more attention span than half the population. Drop a comment if you want the next part, and I'll pump out the next part faster than your dad bailed on your 6th birthday. Bye!